This week's US CQM Forecast Alert is True Economic Growth Rate and Statistical Discrepancy. The April PCE and money supply had a major impact on CQM and PCA forecast this week. In addition, the statistical discrepancy of 2022 Q1 is minus 851.5 billion, which is 3.5% of GDP. The real PCE for 2022 Q2 was revised up significantly from minus 0.30% to 3.43%, as the nominal PCE in April grew significantly to 0.9%, while the PCE price deflator increased only 0.2%. On the other hand, the PCE price deflator for 2022 Q2 has been revised down from 7.62% to 5.31%. As a result, economic growth on both the expenditure and the income side has been revised upward by more than 2%. Although the economic growth rate on the expenditure side is still negative, census-based goods export increased by 3.1% and goods import fell by 5% in April. So by updating BOP-based international trade in April, economic growth on the expenditure side would be revised up significantly. It can be said the recession concern has disappeared temporarily. CQM overestimated the non-durable goods price deflator in April. That is, ARIMA could not predict a 2.7% drop in energy prices. The question is, did energy prices continue to fall, or was the April fall in energy prices temporary? The real money supply in April decreased 0.7%, well above the ARIMA forecast of minus 0.1%. PCA forecasts have revised down the economic growth rate for the current quarter from minus 0.12% to minus 1.46% due to the decline in the real money supply in April. The April CPI statistic has been already updated, and the April PCE price deflator will not affect the PCA forecast of GDP price deflator. The statistical discrepancy of 2022 Q1 was minus 851.5 billion, which was 3.5% of GDP. 850 billion is almost the same as GDP in Taiwan and Switzerland. Statistical discrepancy cannot be ignored when judging economic situation. This table shows the divergence of the economic growth rate when measured from the expenditure and the income side. GDP is not always the true economic growth rate. Therefore, BEA has published GDO, which is the average of GDP and GDI since July 2015, as a measure of better economic growth rate. Conclusion from this week's CQM Forecast Alert. First, updating the April PCE statistic temporarily resolved concerns about the recession. Second, The key to the recession is whether energy prices will continue to fall or rise after May. Third, with the renewal of BOP-based imports and exports in April, the economic growth rate on the expenditure side will turn positive. Fourth, the statistical discrepancy of 2022 Q1 is as large as the GDP of Taiwan and Switzerland. Fifth, not only GDP nowcast but also GDI nowcast is indispensable for correct economic judgment. This slide contains additional information about this week's detailed CQM forecast, the original developer of CQM, and CQM theory papers.